Rob Kitchin, and I'm the chairperson of the management board of ISSP. And I kind of already learned one lesson, which is you should read your email and open attachments and so on, and discover that you are actually down to talk at the beginning of the conference, which I didn't do. So I've been scribbling away a few notes, but now, not only was I ill prepared, but I now feel entirely redundant, given nearly everything I've written down that has been said by these two. So I'm not really going to keep you very long, because I don't think there's any need. Obviously ISSP has been going for about, I don't know, 18 months or so now, is it? And in that time I think we've made significant progress in terms of getting things up and running, and getting the graduate programme in place, and starting to work on the various projects and programmes and so on. And I just spent this morning trying to finish off the 6-monthly report that we have to do. You're probably all aware of, you know, the daily timesheets and the 3-monthly financial audits and the 6-monthly output audits and so on. And there's 164 people which we report on in that report. And just going through it this morning, so in the last 6 months, there have been 62 international referee papers, 120 non-peer-reviewed papers and book chapters, another 41 publications, 268 conference presentations, both within Ireland and around the world. There's been 27 conferences and symposiums organised across the 8 partners, and there's been an additional 13 research grants awarded. And that's at a time which includes the summer. So this is a platform through which a lot of stuff happens, and obviously the conference is part of that programme, and it's a real opportunity for us to get together and to talk to each other about our research and our ideas and how we think we should progress the work that the platform does. So I kind of echo Willie's points about that. It is a real opportunity for us to think about the future and think about what the platform wants to do and how it wants to do it. And obviously part of that process is to think about, is in relation to the theme of the conference, which is in relation to policy and to knowledge transfer. And obviously we do that in lots of ways, and I've kind of listed out some of those through articles and books, through the teaching that we do in the undergrad master's programme and the PhD level, through our own advocacy and our activism within various projects, through working with communities, local authorities, semi-state agencies, government departments, private businesses, and so on, getting involved in public debate, in consultancy, etc. And then there's the whole area around policy making and the extent to which we can make an influence at that level. And obviously the first day today really is around exploring that issue, and a whole series of kinds of questions around, you know, how should the social sciences relate to public policy? How do we get to the heart of policy making and decision making? How do we demonstrate the utility and the value of the research that we all undertake? How do we effectively transfer knowledge to different constituencies, and to do that in ways that are not purely instrumental, but are also critical, ways that challenge the orthodoxy, that are innovative and creative, and which try and imagine and realise new economic and social relations, particularly in a time where we have the various kinds of crises that are happening. How do we influence and public debates and get involved in public debates? How do we respond to the current crisis in meaningful and useful ways? And how can we engage with the wider policy debates and get involved in those? So there's a whole series of things hopefully that we'll kind of explore out through today. And then tomorrow is really looking at the various projects that people are working on. So various members of the platform then will have an opportunity to kind of share the work that they've been doing, the research that they've been doing on an ongoing basis, and to engage with all of you in terms of how you see their work progressing, what kinds of ideas might be useful in your own work, how can we maybe get some of this work into the public arena in different ways than the usual academic channels through publication and so on. So I'm not going to say anything more because I really want to get into the first session and to start to explore some of those questions. So as you said, there's over 100 people registered. I'm sure people are going to some people will be dropping in and out on different days and so on. Obviously, one of the issues with, unfortunately, we had to change the dates of the conference from just before the semester started to within the semester for various reasons. So obviously, there's a lot of faculty who are involved in teaching, so they'll be slotted in and out as they try and carry on with their ordinary day jobs. Honestly, I think that's enough, and we'll just move on to the first session.